Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I've invented the 5-minute meeting. All right, Ashland City Council meeting for April 16th. You know, the city administrator started off, and she said the East Main Shelter, that's out on county land, they're trying to cut a deal between the ORA, the people trying to run it, this shelter, and local cops and the county cops, and so that next winter they can have a 7-night shelter there, and they're working on that. And then the jobs for justice meals at the community center is thrown into question because the community center is, condemned, and so the city's been juggling a lot of the people there at the community center, spreading them around town. Things are working out pretty good for that. And then this guy said something about 2082, there's some kind of conspiracy with the county. I didn't understand what he was saying. And then a presentation by the Historic Commission. This History Week is May 16th to 25th, something like that. And then some tours on A Street, and they're going to have a mausoleum tour. And there's some photos to look at Pioneer Hall. And they said the city staff is super helpful all the time, the best staff ever. And then this guy said, he goes, hey. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, first she goes, I'm excited to see clocks. There's some clock thing. But then he goes, hey, thanks so much for thanking the staff. That's the best. And then the guy from the Historic Commission said, hey, thank you for thanking me for thanking the staff. And then this guy jumped up and goes, hey, I want in on all this thanking of everybody because I would also like to thank everybody. And then public forum. Some guy said, hey, I'm a builder and I build affordable housing. Affordable housing permits are a problem. I'm building 40 apartments in Talent and I get money back from PG&E and a big rebate. And I don't get that from Ashland, so I'm not going to build in Ashland. And then the crazy gray-haired guy said, I saw a traffic jam in town and there's no electric car chargers and we are years away from spinning energy out of control. And then a mustachioed former council candidate guy, he said, budget, live within your means, that's my credo. Are you guys thinking about raising utilities? Because if you do, I'll change the city charter. Don't make me do it. And then a lady said, canceling the drum and bugle performance was a bad city move, and it was a family event that was great for the city. And then this guy goes, hey, that's not our fault, that's SOU's fault. We had nothing to do with it. And then this one goes, hey, are we just talking to people during public forum now? And then this guy goes, I asked the mayor beforehand and he said it was cool if I did that. And she's like, is that real? And then this guy goes, oh yeah, totally, that's totally how it happened. I didn't tell you, but yeah, I told him he could do that. And then consent agenda. This one goes, she goes, hey, I just wanted to thank the mayor for appointing a builder to the wildfire committee. Oh, you're the greatest. And then this guy goes, hey, what's up with this solar thing? And then the city guy said, we're trying applying for this ODO grant for some small solar building, and the grant gives us 35% of the money for the project. And so this we're just asking permission to apply for it. And then once we get approval, we're not even going to take it money. We just wanted to get it and then decide, figure out how we can get the other 65% of the money. And they went, that seems good. Okay, approved, everything approved. And then, what's next? Community Development Block Grants, CDBGs, they're for housing low-income people. And there was $175,000 from the state and $115,000 left over from the city from last year. But only $25,000 can go to services. The rest has to go to building stuff. And then the city got 4 applications. Maslow, 14 grand. Rogue Retreat, 21 grand. St. Vincent de Paul, 20 grand. Food Angels, 19 grand. And that's for the building. Everyone else was not building. And then the committee said, well, how about we give Food Angels 19 grand. And then Maslow, we'll give you 10 grand. And St. Vincent, we'll give you 15 grand. And then Rogue Retreat, 0 grand. And then she goes, she goes, 0 grand? What's up with that? And they went, they've never gotten a grant before, so they wouldn't even know what to do with it. So they don't have the proper ability. I don't know what that was weird. And then this one said, he goes, hey, that's like $212,000 left over. Can't we spend that fixing the Pioneer Hall and the community center? And the lady said, from the city said, hey, you know what? 51% of everything that happens at Pioneer Hall and the community center then would have to be low-income stuff. and low-income housing stuff. And they're like, that's going to be hard to do. And then Maslow said, oh, by the way, we help 85 to 90 super poor people and help homeless kids graduate. And then St. Vincent de Paul said, well, we helped 1,600 people last year. And then Food Angel said, well, we collect food 365 days a year, and last year was 500,000 pounds of food, mostly from Market of Choice and Shopping Cart and the Co-op. And so that passed unanimously. And then there was the appeal of the 12 cottages on Laurel. And the mayor, this guy said, boring, 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 rules, 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 boring, boring, rules. And you can only talk about specific, the 5 points of appeal. And if you didn't talk before, you can't talk now. And you can only decide if the planning department commission made some BS decisions and they're tricky tricksters. And then the project builder said, this appeal is BS. Everything we've done is illegal. And then the appealer said, traffic and parking is going to be super dangerous, and Paradise Fire, don't forget it. And then there was a public comment, and one guy said, hey, if everyone at Hellman School had to leave at once because of an emergency, Paradise Fire. And then another bigger guy showed a bunch of newspaper articles and then said, the Paradise Fire. And then it passed. The appeal did not pass, so the old unappeal, the cottages were approved. And then the TOT tourist hotel tax money allocation. City guy said, well, he went on for a long time. He says you guys picked a $500K for OSF and the Chamber of Commerce, and that leaves $400K for tourism things, and then $2 million you still haven't chosen yet. And then this guy goes, what this guy said? He said, I'm the one who asked for this whole thing to be brought up tonight, and my point is what are we recommending to the budget committee based on all this? I propose that we ask $80,000 from the restricted tourism money and $150,000 from the unrestricted money to go to the small grants program. And then it was like an hour of them all deciding whether they should make a recommendation or not, or how to recommend, or a demand or suggestion to the budget committee, and how that works out and how that's worked out in the past, and blah blah blah. Oh my God, it was nightmarish. I faded out a lot, but split decision. Things didn't pass, amendments and such, and then the mayor, this guy just went, I approve it, and so that approved. I didn't know what it was actually, and then the meeting ended, but people still talked, and then there was the end of the meeting, and then that's the end, and this guy's like blah 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 blah, and then the meeting's over. You're welcome. It was a painful one. This was a rough one.